Ever wondered what would happen if the baddies from Paramount had to face real-world justice? No more getting away with evil plans just because they have catchy musical numbers. Today we're throwing the book, and possibly an entire law library, at Paramount Animation's most dastardly baddies. Court is in session, let's see who's getting life in prison and who's just getting a stern talking to. Mayor Humdinger. Marty Muckraker announces the shocking news that Mayor Humdinger is now the new mayor, his name being the only one on the ballot, preventing a free, fair election.
It's election day in Adventure City, leaving only one name on the ticket. Mayor Humdinger.
This counts as election fraud and starts us off strong with 15 years in jail. As if that weren't bad enough, the situation quickly escalates with an entrance that proves his leadership will be anything but responsible. During Humdinger's grand entrance, he has an assistant use a fire extinguisher to create a foggy effect, completely disregarding the public health of people in the crowd and choking the people in front of the stage.
Literally the greatest human being on the planet!
That adds 5 years for pollution and public endangerment, and with kids present, that easily gets him another 5 years behind bars if caught. With the crowd still recovering from the stunt, an even bigger announcement is about to shake things up. After claiming victory, Humdinger reveals his evil plan to take over Adventure City, dropping building models and breaking the dog park while taunting Liberty that she won't even recognize the city when he's done. He openly talks about restructuring the town to his taste, without taking contributions from anybody. Way to be a dictator, Humdinger.
You know, they call this place Adventure City. Boring.
Cute little dog parks.
You won't even recognize it.
For this crime, he gets 15 years for corruption. Just when you think he couldn't make things worse, he sets his sights on something even bigger. Despite her protests, Humdinger pressures Kendra into handing over the cloud catcher, threatening to shut down the university if she doesn't comply. Kendra agrees, and the device gets to work clearing the weather. As Humdinger snatches Kendra's weather remote, he dreams of the perfect fireworks display, while Kendra can't help but see the chaos he's about to cause.
Rain. Does it always rain in this tonight, and they're going to cancel it because of the rain?
It's a free-floating, gyroscopically balanced, remote-controlled weather.
I don't understand a word you just said.
Sucks up clouds, then brings them back to the lab.
I want to suck up those clouds, or I'm closing this university forever. The sky clear by. I'll hang on to this remote. Love these fireworks.
Threatening Kendra adds 3 years to a sentence for intimidation, and stealing her remote adds another 3 years. With total disregard for safety, he pushes forward with his grand celebration, oblivious to the disaster waiting to unfold. At the fireworks show, 2 pathetic little pops send Humdinger into a full-blown tantrum. Desperate to save his ego, he starts slamming buttons like a gambler on a losing streak, with his catastrophe crew making things infinitely worse. The result? Fireworks shoot off like missiles, fires break out, and the panicked citizens look on in horror as the fireworks cause complete chaos, causing people to run for their lives.
Fireworks, they want spectacle! How often do you get to see fireworks this close?
That's 4 years for public endangerment, 2 more for property damage, and $1 million fine, because apparently bad decisions don't come cheap. And instead of taking responsibility like a normal person, Humdinger does what he does best: blame everyone else and come up with an even worse plan. Furious after hearing that the Paw Patrol saved his fireworks show, Humdinger vows revenge. He orders Butch and Ruben to capture them.
Well, we're here to save the city from Mayor Humdinger's an embarrassing start for Mayor Humdinger. Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol? Paw Patrol!
Oh, sorry, sir.
And lock them away. Paw Patrol have humiliated me.
That adds 5 years for conspiracy to kidnap, and as if one reckless scheme isn't enough, he immediately moves on to ignoring expert advice, because why start listening to reason now? At a subway station, Kendra warns Humdinger that the cloud catcher is overloaded and needs to be shut down. Naturally, he ignores her, insisting he controls the weather now. When she protests, he sends Butch and Ruben to remove her.
Enjoy that sunbeam, kiddies.
Capacity of its pressurized internal containment chamber. We need to bring down the cloud catcher.
Nonsense. As long as I'm mayor, the sun will always shine.
Get out of here!
Ignoring her warnings of how dangerous the cloud catcher could be when it overloads counts as public endangerment, adding 4 years to his jail time. Humdinger isn't content with just breaking the sky. He's got his sights set on the city's transit system too, because clearly, things aren't chaotic enough yet. Humdinger proudly unveils his latest disaster in the making, the Humdinger Hyperloop, a ridiculous loop-de-loop for a subway train. Marty and his crew immediately recognize it as his dumbest idea yet. Undeterred, Humdinger orders his kittens to pull the lever, sending the train up the loop until it predictably breaks down, stranding terrified passengers at the top and endangering the lives of everyone on the train, as well as the people around it.
Proudly present the next step in my plan, a Humdinger Hyperloop!
I am not riding that thing.
Dumbest idea.
I'm an unqualified elected official.
This counts as gross negligence and adds plus 4 years. Instead of dealing with the fallout, Humdinger shifts his focus to an even bigger crime, because apparently, derailing public transit wasn't enough, and now it's time for a good old-fashioned dog napping. Butch and Ruben spot Chase in the city and move to capture him. They recklessly speed through the city with Chase, now collarless and captured.
Oh, what do we have here? Looks like we got one of them.
Oh no. Where did he go?
Out of the way!
I'm a police dog and you're under arrest.
Oh, no!
Why do you get to wear the hat?
This brings their jail time to 6 months and $2.5K in fines, and for the capture of a registered police dog, 20 extra years. And just like that, Humdinger's legal troubles skyrocket from corrupt politician to an actual criminal empire. But he still has some more tricks up his sleeve. At Fuzzy Buddy's obedience school, which is now a makeshift dog pound, Ruben locks Chase in a room where he meets Barney and Dolores. She explains that Humdinger has imprisoned all the city's dogs, turning the place into a nightmare for canines.
Quit squirming! Welcome to your new home.
Mayor Humdinger's goons took over this place and turned it into a jail.
He gets a life imprisonment for mass kidnapping. At this point, his rap sheet is so long it could be published as a novel, but instead of laying low, Humdinger somehow finds a way to embarrass himself even further. To get Humdinger's attention, Liberty interrupts his live interview by knocking over part of the stage. Ruben and Butch immediately capture her, but Humdinger remains focused on his outfit. Unfortunately, he's only wearing underwear, and when Marty informs him they're still live, the city erupts in laughter, leaving Humdinger humiliated and demanding the internet be shut down.
Bringing you an exclusive interview with recently disgraced.
There will be no more embarrassing mishaps.
Oh no! Please, let me go!
You with the pants on your head. When my new pants arrive, I'm canceling the internet.
Kidnapping and false imprisonment add 2 years and up to $500 in fines. Instead of fixing his PR nightmare, Humdinger marches off to commit yet another felony. On his way to unveil his new tower, Humdinger encounters Kendra again. He ignores Kendra's warnings and dramatically smashes the remote controlling the cloud catcher. The machine overloads, unleashing weeks worth of nasty weather in one go, creating a hurricane-level disaster over Adventure City.
Cloudcatcher's precipitometer has short-circuited in the barometric. We've got to bring down the Cloudcatcher. It's gonna blow. What are you doing?
Gentle breeze, it will now be pitch black skies. Whoa, I've been lying about my hair.
He gets a $500 fine for damage to the remote, and by ignoring Kendra's warnings and destroying the Cloudcatcher's remote, he endangered all the citizens of Adventure City, earning himself a life imprisonment. As the storm rages, the consequences of his reckless actions quickly spiral out of control, setting the stage for his inevitable downfall. After Sky destroys the Cloudcatcher, Humdinger is charged for his crimes.
Car in the water! I'm diving in! Everybody say cheese! Sign! This way! Follow me!
We'll just hunker down and ride out the storm.
Mayor Humdinger, tower isn't safe. We've got to get you out of here.
I'm not going anywhere with you. Okay, fine. I'll go with you.
I take no pleasure in doing this.
He is charged with gross negligence, which adds 18 years, public endangerment another plus 4 years, and a whole lot of property destruction summing up to $500K in fines. And after trying to resist arrest, which adds 1 year, he is finally locked up for his crimes. You'd think a guy with this many charges would start rethinking his life, but nope. Humdinger sees prison as more of a temporary inconvenience and promptly plans to leave. In Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie, Humdinger dramatically introduces himself and his kitten catastrophe crew to Victoria Vance. Together they hatch a plan to escape through an underground tunnel dug under the toilet.
Hello, roomie.
I can't stand those little mongrels.
Perfect roommates. Can you give us a minute? I need to discuss something and... Oh, the kitties and I have been planning a jailbreak. If you promise to share some of those superpowers with me...
It's a deal. Said that 2 miles ago. Look at it.
We're here!
Yeah!
For escaping lawful custody, he gets 2 years added to his sentence. Now free and freshly covered in sewer grime, Humdinger wastes no time jumping into his next terrible idea. Humdinger and Victoria Vance sneak onto Humdinger's private jet, but Victoria, never one to pass up a chance for chaos, decides to sabotage an engine mid-flight. A horrified Humdinger watches as she calls the Paw Patrol for help. Sky is sent to save the plane, but plot twist. Victoria swipes Sky's pup tag, stealing her powers, then gleefully parachutes out, followed by Humdinger and his kitties leaving Sky in a crashing plane.
Air Humdinger. I had nightmares in jail about flying coach.
They'll have to come rescue us while I go yell for help.
Here you are.
Humdinger? My crystal! Give that back! Ah.
Goodbye.
No!
Woohoo!
Ryder, come in! This is Sky! Negative! It's too far! Got a visual on the runway! All right. Come on, babe! Whoa, 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 whoa!
He gets a life imprisonment for attempted murder, 25 years for grand larceny, and 4 years for reckless endangerment. And as if nearly dooming a rescue pup midair wasn't enough, Humdinger is about to take his destruction to even greater heights, literally. Once free, Vance gives him a crystal, turning him into the giant Mega Mare to crush the Paw Patrol. He goes on a wild rampage through Adventure City, demolishing everything in his path.
Ooh, is that Sky? One of those crystals is mine.
Ugh, fine, a deal's a deal.
Oh my goodness! I can talk!
Give me that crystal.
Ow! Oh! Oh!
It isn't my old friends, the Paw Patrol.
I'm stuck! Stepped on! Hey, I know you. You're in the Paw Patrol. Hang on!
He gets a death sentence for terrorism and an extra 10 years for destruction of public property. With his ego now the size of his body, he sets out to finally conquer Adventure City once and for all, but as usual, underestimates the Paw Patrol. With help from the junior patrollers, the Paw Patrol climb on him, shrink him back to size, and slap him down. In the end, he gets tangled in his giant hat and is carted off by Chase with a classic, "Ah, not again!" and his dreams of being a giant disaster squashed once again.
Paw Patrol.
What do we do? It's the Junior Patrollers!
What is that? Get it off!
No! Marshall, the crystal's in his jacket pocket!
Get off!
Marshall! Ow! You're gonna get burned! He's shrinking! Ah! Humdinger!
Not again.
In total, our corrupt mayor here gets 147 years in prison, 2 life imprisonments, and roughly $50 million in fines or property damage. At this rate, he should just request a permanent cell with his name on it. Humdinger Penitentiary has a nice ring to it. Mori Arti. Sherlock Gnomes and Dr. Watson storm into London's Natural History Museum, ready to face their ultimate nemesis, Mori Arti. Perched dramatically atop a dinosaur skeleton, Mori Arti shows himself. He trapped the gnomes on the ground with pie filling and dropped a bone on one of the gnomes, which breaks off a part of his hat.
Self, Mori Arti. Ta-da! Here I am, your favourite evil pie mascot. Gnomes go extinct. Sherlock, you enjoy a little game as much as I do.
These count as false imprisonment and assault and could get him up to 20 years. But Mori Arti isn't just here to ruin hats. He's about to take property destruction and attempted murder to a whole new level. A chaotic battle ensues and Sherlock gets knocked off his perch. In true detective style, he turns the tables, pulling Mori Arti's rolling pin and sending the villain tumbling onto a crank. The result? A spectacular chain reaction that brings the massive skeleton crashing down, seemingly flattening Mori Arti.
A sworn destroyer, and we will keep playing. Let's stop you until the day I die. Today's that day. Come, Sherlock. Come dance with me. No! Large buckets.
Although a weak attempt, he still does try to kill Sherlock, plus life imprisonment. He also destroys the dinosaur skeleton in the process, adding up to 20 years and millions of dollars in fines for destruction of museum property. Folks, this isn't Mori Arti's first act of violence. Flashbacks reveal that he's been terrorizing garden ornaments long before the showdown. Scenes of Mori Arti going on a full-blown rampage against the poor, unsuspecting ornaments, shoving them, stomping them, and generally being a festive nightmare are shown. At one point, he ruthlessly knocks 3 carefully crafted potted flowers off a rope, murdering them, and even punts a helpless gnome straight off the roof. He also kidnaps gnomes, torturing and displacing them from their homes.
Manufactured evil. And Mori Arti.
Since these ornaments are very much alive, that's at least a few counts of homicide earning him a life imprisonment and 1 very traumatized gnome. But for Mori Arti, simple destruction isn't enough. Soon he's hatching a plan that could possibly destroy all the gnomes in London. Mori Arti never actually becomes pie-filling. He fakes his demise and, along the way, discovers just how terribly Sherlock treats Watson. Sensing an opportunity, he sends his gargoyle goons, Reggie and Ronnie, to manipulate Watson. Watson, trying to prove a point, reveals the location of every garden gnome in London. Mori Arti, being the tech-savvy villain he is, snaps a quick pick of the map and rounds up all the gnomes.
Bring you down.
How you treated Watson. Poor old miserable Watson.
Your problem is, Watson, you're too nice, too trusting. While you were playing at supervillains, I saw your map, capturing every single gnome in London.
Time!
Be glued down in a giant M, but it's the little touches that make a plan really evil.
For the kidnapping and false imprisonment of over 540 gnomes, he gets 7,800 years in jail. At this rate, his prison sentence is starting to sound like it'd be a few million years. Don't worry, he's still aiming for something even worse. When Sherlock and Juliet get trapped in the Tower of London, the gargoyles reveal their true allegiance by tossing them and Watson onto a ship called the HMS Nimrod. Mori Arti then gleefully announces his master plan. The gnomes are glued to Tower Bridge's counterweight, and once the bridge lifts to let the Nimrod pass, they'll be smashed to bits.
We brought them to this room here for the main event. The bridge will raise up and the 500 ding the gnomes, making you the very instrument.
For attempted mass murder, he gets a death sentence, and just when you think Mori Arti has reached peak evil, he somehow finds a way to throw in a dramatic bridge showdown. Mori Arti and Sherlock battle atop Tower Bridge, and Mori Arti explodes with rage when he learns Watson saved the gnomes. He throws his hat at the drone, nearly taking out Watson, Nomeo, and Juliet. During the chaos, he injures Sherlock and tries to knock Watson off the bridge.
Favorite bit, the chase. Ready or not, here I come. Sing you, Mori Arti. Same. Popular and bubbly.
My date, Mori Arti.
You just spray painted a cartoon cat all over it. Literally.
Attempting to murder Sherlock, Nomeo, Juliet, and Watson adds a life imprisonment for each. At this point, Mori Arti's sentencing is long enough to be its own novel, but there's still time for one last over-the-top villain moment. Sherlock makes a dramatic save, pouncing on Mori Arti and sending both villains plummeting off the bridge. Watson grabs Sherlock, saving him, while Mori Arti is left floating away in the salty water, swearing revenge and losing his phone to the ocean.
What to do to press me to death?
Come dance with me.
Oh.
Sherlock!
Sherlock knows I shall oh no, my phone!
Mori Arti, the murderous pie mascot, gets 50 years in jail and 4 life sentences. And as he drifts into the distance, one thing is certain: even the ocean is tired of his nonsense. Victoria Vance. Janet and Hank get a mysterious phone call which lures them into their trailer. The two then realize someone, Victoria Vance in disguise, has not only locked them in their trailer, but also commandeered their crane with their electromagnet, driving over their gas welding tanks and setting the entire scrapyard ablaze in the process. A raging fire starts in the scrapyard, trapping Hank and Janet inside, leaving them stuck and terrified with no choice but to yelp for help.
J&H scrap? Oh, sure thing, I'll get him. Hello?
What on earth?
The door's locked. What are they doing?
Oh my goodness!
She could get a life imprisonment for arson with significant threats to Janet and Hanks's lives and properties. 3 years for false imprisonment, 25 years for grand larceny, and millions of dollars in fines for property destruction. If you thought setting people on fire was enough chaos for Vance, then you're new here and don't know what she's really capable of. As she speeds away from the scrapyard, she crashes through a bunch of cars like she's starring in an action movie, sending them into fiery explosions. She zooms off, leaving destruction in her wake, without so much as a glance in the rearview mirror. For property destruction, she can get up to $1 million in fines and 5 years for grand theft auto. Blowing things up and stealing vehicles is just her warm-up act. Next, she's about to make a bold entrance into the world of unhinged science and conspiracy rants. After stealing the 10-ton magnet and pairing it with her latest invention, Vance records a video, addressing her fans while awkwardly denying being a mad scientist. She rants about a conspiracy theory and how the haters are wrong, before showing off her latest discovery on her computer, a meteor with untapped power, way bigger than anyone expected.
It's showtime!
I've been tracking Meteor X2805 for the past 2 years, which brings me to my latest invention. This sweet little tractor beam will pull that meteor out of the sky and...
She gets 25 years for grand larceny, and naturally, because she's Victoria Vance, her first instinct isn't caution. It's to immediately fire up her highly questionable machine. Excited, she sits back in her recliner and starts her machine, ready to celebrate her biggest achievement yet. But things quickly go south. The machine malfunctions, yanking the meteor uncontrollably, and Vance can't stop it. She panics, claiming her machine doesn't have enough power, but it's too late. The meteor crashes into Adventure City, obliterating the Paw Patrol's pup tower and destroying their vehicles.
Uh-oh. The meteor is stronger than I expected! I don't have enough power! That is not good. Get down!
For building an illegal weapon, she gets 4 years, 4 years for gross negligence, and 1 year and up to $3 million in fines for property destruction. With her reputation in flaming ruins, Vance does what any self-respecting villain would do: take full credit for the disaster and get herself arrested. Breaking news reveals Vance as the mastermind behind the chaos, and she is arrested for taking credit for the destruction, leaving her ego and her invention in ruins. Being locked up isn't enough to stop Victoria, especially when a certain corrupt mayor has a toilet tunnel and a bad idea. Humdinger offers a deal. If she helps him, they'll share the superpowers from the meteor. Reluctantly, she shakes paws with his Kitten Catastrophe crew, sealing the deal. Humdinger then proudly reveals his secret escape tunnel under the toilet. Overjoyed, Victoria follows him through the underground route until they emerge in the middle of traffic.
You can't lock me up!
More like the maddest scientist in the world.
I heard that. Yeah, no thanks, I'm good.
It took me a lot of hard work.
For escaping lawful custody, she could get up to 2 years, and because no dramatic escape is complete without an unnecessarily risky getaway, they immediately set their sights on Humdinger's private jet. Ditching their prison uniforms, they make their way to the airport where Humdinger's private plane, Air Humdinger, awaits their grand getaway. Once in the air, Victoria wastes no time tossing Humdinger's belongings out of the plane, destroying the engine in the process. As he watches in shock, she finally reveals her true plan, staging a fake plane crash to lure the Paw Patrol into a trap and steal their precious power crystals, something she's been after her entire life.
Air Humdinger. I had nightmares in jail about flying coach.
Oh, don't worry. Your tacky little jet is in good hands.
And why would they do that?
Because of this. They'll have to come rescue us!
That was your plan?
While I go yell for help!
She gets a fine of $5 million for property destruction and 4 years for reckless endangerment of Humdinger and the kitties. But Vance's plan missed one crucial detail. The Paw Patrol is not about to let her get away with it. As Mighty Pup Sky flies in to save the day, she sees Humdinger and his Kitten Catastrophe crew. Before Sky can react, Victoria strikes, snatching Sky's crystal-powered badge right off her collar. Sky fights back, desperate to reclaim her powers, but Victoria easily hurls her onto the couch. With her victory secured, Victoria parachutes out, followed by Humdinger and his kittens, leaving Sky to crash and burn.
And here you are.
Humdinger?
Me!
My crystal! Give that back!
No!
For For destroying Humdinger's private jet, she could get up to $4 million in fines and 25 years for grand larceny. She also leaves Sky to die, attempting to murder her, which could get her a life imprisonment. Unfortunately for Victoria, Sky isn't one to go down without a fight. Struggling to regain control, Sky radios Ryder, revealing that Victoria stole her powers and that the plane is going down fast. The Paw Patrol rushes to clear a makeshift landing strip, but the landing is anything but smooth. Sky nearly crushes Chase, barely grazing his nose. Ultimately, a lot of property is destroyed.
I've got a visual on the runway. All right, let's do this.
Come on, baby. Soft landing. Soft. Whoa, 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 whoa!
And letting a plane crash like that counts as reckless endangerment, adding 10 years to her sentence. But Sky isn't about to let Vance off the hook. Sky tracks Victoria and sneaks into her house, hoping to reclaim the stolen power crystal. She finds Victoria seemingly asleep and tries to snatch a crystal from her necklace, only to realize too late that it's a trap. Victoria springs to life, bolts out the door, and speeds away with Sky in pursuit. Unfortunately, Victoria is way too fast, taunting Sky as she leads her into a trap. With a smug grin, she traps Sky in a force field and locks her away in a homemade jail.
Not so super inside a force field, are ya? Don't feel bad for losing.
For assaulting Sky, who is also a official, she could get 10 years and 4 extra for false imprisonment. And now that she has Sky out of the way, Victoria is ready to unleash her worst idea yet. Vance supercharges her machine with the stolen power crystals, cranking it up to maximum and using it to pull as many meteors as she can to Earth. Sky, being the voice of reason, warns her this is a terrible idea. But Victoria, she's way past listening.
I can reach further into space than ever before.
Who could get hurt?
This counts as reckless endangerment because Vance knows these meteors are going to crash on Earth, killing people and destroying properties, and as expected, this genius plan turns into a lightning-filled disaster. Vance goes full supervillain, blasting lightning at the Paw Patrol while they scramble to dodge and pass around a crystal. The battle escalates when Vance nearly nukes Marshall's fire truck, and Liberty heroically snatches Chase from disaster. Desperate for more power, Vance starts zapping wildly, until Zuma, the ultimate escape artist, melts into water, vanishes into a drain, and reappears with a massive whirlpool to snatch the crystals from her grasp.
Keep your hands off our vehicle! Zuma! Come to us, dude!
For attempting to murder Ryder and the Paw Patrollers, she gets 8 life sentences. Even with her power gone, Victoria isn't ready to accept defeat just yet. With the power back where it belongs, Liberty and Rubble team up to obliterate Vance's meteor magnet. Defeated and surrounded, Vance refuses to accept her fate and makes a last-ditch attempt to escape. Liberty literally wraps herself around her like a living ribbon, pinning her tight. Trapped and furious, she tells Ryder and the Paw Patrol that the meteors are coming whether they like it or not. She gets a death sentence for endangering millions of lives. True to her title, Vance is really a mad scientist. Liberty, beyond exhausted with Vance's nonsense, deadpans, finally, she admits it. Vance is tossed back in jail where she mysteriously disappears from the spotlight. Meanwhile, Sky saves the day by destroying the incoming meteors, officially shutting down Vance's last evil plan for good. Without the intervention of the Paw Patrol, the meteors would have killed a lot of people and destroyed a lot of property, adding 10 years and millions of dollars in fines for gross negligence. In total, Vance would get 63 years, 3 life imprisonments, a death sentence, and about $58 million in fines, which, let's be honest, is still a lighter sentence than she probably deserves. And there you have it, folks. Justice has finally been served. Some villains got off easy. Seriously, how do some of these guys keep getting parole, while others are looking at a lifetime of counting bricks in a tiny cell? Let this be a lesson. If you're planning world domination, grand larceny, or just being an all-around menace, maybe don't leave behind such an obvious villain monologue. Until next time, stay law-abiding. Or at least make sure your evil plans don't come with a paper trail. We'll see you in our next adventure, my friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked our content.